Leonard. Is Leonard here? Is Leonard here? Come on. It is Leonard Sid, right, Leonard? Is it Leonard Sid, right? Right, I know. I kept saying Leonard. And I thought, I was like, well, wait a minute. Am I screwing up here? Come on, Parker administration folks who are present, come on, stand up here with us. This is a good day. I've been talking about you, city solicitor. Yeah, you're hot. Yeah, a lot of work. Come on over. Oh, Candy. Where's Sabrina? Hi. You mind coming over? Hey, Mike Cagney. Sabrina hates this part. She really does. Let me start by saying good afternoon to each of you. I want to thank you all so very much for coming today. I am really excited to talk with you about the several additions and announcements as a part of our ongoing process to build out the Parker administration and create what you have heard me describe since I was sworn in as the most dynamic team of public servants possible who all share the same mission, and that is to create the safest, cleanest, and greenest city in America with access to economic opportunity for all. And that's a big vision, and it can't be implemented without having a strong team. Both of the individuals I am about to announce are already hard at work in the Parker administration, and they are doing an exemplary job in their respective roles. So why would we announce the appointment of individuals who already work in the administration? And that's easy for me. Number one, we are assembling a team of the best and the brightest people to serve in the Parker administration, and I am very proud of every appointment that we have made thus far, but I personally, I want Philadelphians and all of our residents to know about each and every person I have appointed. Second, and I say this all of the time, hopefully people are picking up on it. We were on the road for 2 years talking about it. I remember some folks laughing, but I think they get it now. And that is that we are trying to build an administration for the people of our city that they can see, touch, and feel. A government that is accessible to all of our taxpayers. And one important way for me to do that is to lift up the hardworking public servants so our citizens can see them. They're not just a name and or a title, but you can see the actual people who are doing the work. And the first appointment that I am announcing here today, and I get a chance to josh a little bit here, she is someone who has been much more comfortable behind the scenes doing the work. But on today, I am proud to formally and officially announce Sabrina Maynard as our budget director for the city of Philadelphia. Yes, well deserved, I know, right? As budget director, Sabrina oversees the city's capital budget, our operating budget, and grants offices. Now, previously, she served in a variety of roles in our budget and finance offices. Some people will remember when she was the deputy finance director for policy, analysis, and grants. And also, she did serve for a time in the Kenney administration as budget director. For those of you who would like to know what are the credentials, what prepares her for this role, Sabrina holds a Master's of Public Administration from the Fels Institute of Government at our very own University of Pennsylvania. So I knew we were gonna get along just fine, Sabrina, with that in mind. But her credentials are admittedly extremely impressive. Now, in practice, and this is the part that becomes extremely important because, you can meet a whole lot of people who look very nice on paper. Have you met people who look nice on paper? And then you think about practice. I've already seen her work up close and personal. She has been an important member of our budget and finance teams all year, and many of you will remember when we unveiled our first ever One Philly budget in March. We put it to the test during the hearings in the City Council, and then it was signed into law in June with the support of Council President Kenyatta Johnson and all members of Council. Well, that was Sabrina's work. I want to note that she advanced into this position having worked in partnership with our former budget director, Bob McDermott, for whom I have a great deal of respect and admiration because he and I worked in the City Council of Philadelphia together. Bob McDermott has moved to a position in the private sector, and I do want to publicly thank him for the work that he did for the Parker administration. Please give Bob McDermott a huge round of applause. Sabrina, you are now on the speed dial list that makes you eligible for the 11, 12, and 1 o'clock in the morning calls and the 6 a.m. Calls. Put your hands together for Sabrina, please.
Thanks so much, Mayor Parker, fellow Fells alum, for those kind words and for putting your faith in me to help lead your budget and grants offices. I'm so grateful for this opportunity to serve in your administration in a key finance leadership role at such an important time for our city. I've been with the city for nearly a decade in different finance roles. My first job was actually at DHS as an analyst, and so I bounced around, and I've been in finance. Yes.
Vanessa, that's right.
Yep. And then I bounced around kind of in central finance, which includes all kinds of things folks don't usually see, like risk management and payroll, very important. Yep. Yeah. Val's right here. Accounting, so on and so forth. And they're full of amazing people who keep our city running. So just want to shout them out. Yes. Yeah, payroll and everyone else. For sure. And so learning about the different areas of finance over time has been really rewarding and never dull. And it turns out that there's very little that happens here without money. So we're involved in a lot of the things that happen sometimes at odd hours of the night. I'm very excited to continue my finance journey at a really critical time. For those paying attention to the calendar, we are getting close to our FY26 budget process already, which will be here before we know it. So once again, thank you so much. I'm ready to get to work, or continue working.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you so much, Sabrina. We appreciate you. Now I have another important personnel announcement to make today. But before I do, and this is extremely important to me, I'm just going to ask him if you could just move a little closer to me, Mike Zacagney. Mike Zacagney. The other Mike Zacagney, right, Leonard? I want to publicly thank you, Mike, for your decades of public service to the city of Philadelphia, heading up our Office of Human Resources. Mike has done a tremendous job serving the people of Philadelphia and our government through all of his work in HR for over 4 decades, and we are in your debt forever. I did, because that's important. Mike has agreed to stay on and assist the appointee I am about to announce with a knowledge transfer. And that becomes extremely important. That is not what always happens in government. Sometimes you lose institutional knowledge and no one has deposited that into the next person who is coming to fill that role. Mike, thank you for your service to the city, and I have to say, give credit where credit is due. Philadelphia, I used to be a council person before I became mayor, and Mike and I would see each other during budget hearings. Our exchanges, always in the best interests of Philadelphia, but were very intense at times. And when we were realizing that the city was hemorrhaging municipal workers and the number of vacancies were increasing, we kept talking about how we could get out to the people, like, into neighborhoods, to go where people were. And, some people come up with the same old, ideas, expecting a different outcome. And Mike came, and I think I must have felt like it was Christmas. He was describing for us this concept that HR would be employing, where we would have a bus, literally a bus, that we could take into neighborhoods. People, no, Philadelphia, I'm serious, a bus where we could take it to a festival. Let's just say there's a festival and 1,000 people are going to attend, and they know that they can apply for employment with the city of Philadelphia. The terminal is right on the bus. Someone's there to answer any questions that you will have. And I remember getting really excited, but then it's the city. So, in my mind, after the hearing, Mike, remember I got excited during the hearing. I said, when in the world will this ever happen? We'll never see this. It sounds good. And Mike, for the first time, I saw it when we were announcing CCME at the Community College of Philadelphia. And I want to say, in front of the people of the city, thank you so very much for all of that. Give Mike a round of applause. Without further ado, I want to introduce you to a young lady who just really, I don't know if you all remember, it's a line someone says in a movie. She says, "You had me at hello." When we sat down to do our interview, you want people who are going to, again, think outside of the box. We're at war with the status quo in the city of Philadelphia. We need people who are going to build on what we already do that is successful, but they want to stretch government. And when we talked about CCME, as a tool, I can remember having a conversation with Camille and Chief of Staff Tiffany Thurman, and I'm like, well, we know Mike is about to make the transition, but I need someone who's hungry, who's a subject matter expert. And they said to me, Camille actually was the person who said to me, you have to meet Candy Jones. Well, I am excited to affirm that Candy is being appointed as the Parker administration's Chief Human Resources Officer. Give Candy a round of applause. And she always looks like a fashion model. She does it easily. But like Sabrina, Candy Jones is already hard at work in the Parker administration. In fact, and this is Philadelphia, this is important for you to know, Candy was a key member of the administration that just successfully negotiated a one-year agreement with AFSCME District Council 33, enabling our city to avoid a work stoppage and to also find common ground with the 8,400 men and women who deserve every bit of the respect and dignity that their hard work provides for the city of Philadelphia on a daily basis. She helped to make that possible. Now, how did she play an important role? She worked in partnership with Chief Deputy Mayor Sincere Harris and her entire negotiating team. So we want to all thank you for what you've already done, Candy, before you've arrived. And another example of Candy's hard work already, she played a very important role in the creation and unveiling of what you heard me refer to as CCME. Philadelphia, this is the first in the nation initiative to attract students to the Community College of Philadelphia and Philadelphia residents to train them for vacancies that we have in the city. John Lewis would call that good trouble. We have vacancies, then we have people who need to be trained and become the skilled workers and the technicians, the subject matter experts to do those jobs. And Candy was up for the task. I'm always waiting to see the people who say, we've never done anything like this before. That's going outside of the scope of the way things have already been. She never showed any of that when we talked about it. In her current role, and in the role she is about to assume, she's going to be a senior executive responsible for all aspects of human resources management for the city of Philadelphia. Candy, that puts you on the list for 11, 12, and 1 o'clock in the morning calls. She will play a pivotal role in developing and executing HR strategies, policies, and programs to support the recruitment, retention, development, and engagement of employees across departments, while also promoting diversity, equity, and inclusion within the government workforce. Her new position works in tandem with the Mayor's Office of Labor Relations to lead negotiations and develop fair and effective collective bargaining agreements with all of our municipal unions. For those who are saying, well, what did she formerly do? She served as a deputy commissioner for human resources and administration for the Philadelphia Water Department, so that's why I think I see some water folks who are in the room, and as the first deputy director for HR in the Office of Human Resources. Candy has a bachelor's degree in English. You're smart, Candy. I like people who studied English. From Johns Hopkins University, and she too has a master's degree in public administration from the University of Baltimore, Philadelphia. I could not be more proud than to have Candy to serve as our human resources director for our entire city of Philadelphia.
Thank you, Mayor Parker. Who would have imagined when I was a little girl growing up in Trinidad, I would be standing here today? Thank you, Mayor Parker, for this incredible opportunity to serve as the Chief Human Resources Officer for the City of Philadelphia. I am deeply humbled and grateful to take on this role, supporting the current and future workforce of our great city. I first want to express my heartfelt thanks to the deputies at the Office of Human Resources. I see them, Marsha Green-Jones, Ardina Starks, Janelina Bletta, and to Director Zacagney for your tireless efforts in advancing the critical work of our office. The team is truly a force. I also want to acknowledge my mentors, colleagues, family, and friends, and my son Langston. I see you. Langston. I have one too, I know. Who have guided, challenged, and course-corrected me along the way. It is because of you I stand here today. Everyone that knows me knows that I love what I do, and I love HR. I am excited to continue the important work of fostering economic opportunity for all, and to build on the foundation of progress that we've already made together. Thank you again, Mayor Parker, for entrusting me with this opportunity to serve. Thank you.
Candy. Leonard Sid is here. For those of you who don't know Leonard, he is the chairman of our Civil Service Commission, and he is excited about Candy's appointment. Give it up for Leonard.
Thank you, Ms. Parker. I just want to say that I started the Civil Service Commission in 2016, and I work with Candy. And I was excited to hear that she was going to take over for Mike. Even though I am going to miss Mike, but things happen at times. They got to move on. But Candy will be a big, big change for our HR. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So I hope that you all get that we are committed to bringing the best and the brightest to help us to deliver on the Parker administration's commitment to the city of Philadelphia. Gun violence is declining. Homicides and shootings are down 40%. Director Carlton Williams, Clean and Green. They've cleaned more than 19,000 blocks and commercial quarters in the city. Our City College for Municipal Employment, in partnership with CCP, the School District of Philadelphia, and Philly Works, it has started creating pathways to economic opportunity and city jobs. We are growing our extended day and extended year and educational enrichment opportunities for before and after school programs. And I just got off the phone not long ago, probably about an hour ago, with our Planning and Development Director, Jesse Lawrence, who is working extremely hard to build out our housing plan, where we have committed not to just, we're going to have a housing program, but we have committed to build, repair, and/or revitalize 30,000 units of housing in the city of Philadelphia, and you're going to hear more about that next year. So no one is resting here. No one is slowing down. We have a whole lot of work to do in the city to move towards our goal of creating the safest, cleanest, greenest big city in the nation with economic opportunity for all. So I want to thank you all for being here. Now we want to take a few questions for those of you who may have any. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Yes, yes. For both of them. Right now. Actually, I'll be talking to two people on today. We are working very, very hard on that health commissioner and DBID's role. I just ask everyone to trust the process. We have worked very, very hard to ensure that every single appointment that we made, that they're the most qualified and experienced. And our health commissioner and DBIDs will be no different, but I won't be rushed because I'll tell you what I have watched. I have watched people rush to make a decision, and if you want to see a recipe for a disaster, rush to select someone for a position of leadership on something as significant as those two roles who doesn't share in the vision that is before them. It's a recipe for a disaster. So I'd rather work hard and crossing my T's and dotting my I's to ensure that we get the right person, the best person, most prepared. I think we're pretty close. We're pretty close. Thank you for the question. I appreciate it. Another one? Thank you, Pat. I appreciate that question. Let me just say that right now, the City Council of Philadelphia is doing what it does in working hard to get answers to very tough questions, and that is one. But I have been around long enough to see the city of Philadelphia do big things that have what could be perceived as insurmountable barriers, between, the city and whatever the ultimate goal or objective is. And somehow, some way, when everyone's moving in the same direction and the goal and objective is the same, we will find a way to get there. And as it relates to that issue, it is what I feel, because we want a whole lot of additional partners. I'll be quite frank. I won't say who this conversation was with, but I just talked to a very, very, very notable Philadelphian who's been out of town for a bit, leaning on them and asking them to come back and do some work here in the city of Philadelphia, because we've been talking about the potential, like that the arena wouldn't be the only large economic development project that we here in the city are looking forward to, but that we could have multiple projects moving in at the same time. And so I think that we can and will get the solid answers that we need to get as it relates to the arena and SEPTA, and I think we'll all do it together, and we'll be working together to make it happen. I know I'm committed to it, so thank you so very much for that question. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am. Hi, Dawn. Yeah. Not at all. Yes. Last week, we saw someone who has consistently delivered for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania come and deliver for southeastern Pennsylvania and Philadelphia in a super huge way, and that is none other than our Governor, Josh Shapiro. We were, for those of you who are not familiar with what occurred last week, the governor announced that he would be flexing $153 million to save SEPTA. And we were joined by his transportation secretary and my former colleague in the State House, Mike Carroll, our speaker, Joanna McClinton, leader, Matt Bradford, House Appropriations Chairman, Jordan Harris. I'm trying to see the room. Senate Appropriations Chairman, Vincent Hughes, Ken Lawrence, SEPTA's board chair, all of the exec team, and then the hardworking men and women from TWU, 234, and SMART, I think the local is 1594, if I'm correct, and we all gathered along with the county commissioners, so thank you for affirming that the county commissioners in the surrounding area were there, and the governor made sure that he came to the rescue. The Pennsylvania, the General Assembly, our governor, to ensure that 790,000 southeastern Pennsylvania residents who commit to using SEPTA and relying on SEPTA on a daily basis to get to and from work and school and everything else they have to do in our region. So I was super proud, because you can't be pro-growth in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania or pro-business in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, but be willing to let the mass transit system that is the foundation of the economy in southeastern Pennsylvania fail. So the government and our legislature, they stood up and they delivered. But I too wanted Philadelphians to know that you should feel proud as well, because you have already delivered for SEPTA. $117 million was included in the One Philly budget that we have already passed in partnership with our city council president, Kenyatta Johnson, and all members of council. Your tax-paying dollars invested $117 million to help SEPTA, the men and women who keep it going, and just to keep it moving. But you didn't stop there, taxpayers of Philadelphia. You also invested $250 million to repave, I believe it is 130 miles of streets here in the city of Philadelphia. So not only can you ride, but hopefully we'll help you get a smooth ride. And that was just this year. So I want the people in the city of Philadelphia to be super proud that that's $367 million of your tax-paying dollars invested here in SEPTA and also to repave our streets. So if you are a Philadelphian on a day who was proud to see that $153 million announcement made, I want you to feel very good, not about what will happen in the future, but what you've already gotten done, because Philadelphia has already delivered. We'll take one more question. I appreciate that. Thank you. Wait, a follow-up is here. So when he talked about additional money from the counties, what he's referencing is the local share. Each county pays a local share. And fortunately for the city of Philadelphia, because we were preparing, and I thank the governor and our legislative leaders for formally noting this on the record. Folks may remember that there was a legislative package that was offered that would have increased funding in the Commonwealth for mass transit, and not just here, but across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And, Speaker McClinton, Leader Bradford, and Appropriations Chairman Harris, they introduced and passed that language 3 times, 3 different versions, 3 times in the Pennsylvania House of Representatives, but unfortunately it never became law. But in each iteration of that legislation, it would have required the counties in the 5-county area to increase their local share. And fortunately for us, the people of the city of Philadelphia, they understood the assignment because, again, under the leadership of City Council President Kenyatta Johnson and all members of council and the Parker administration, we already increased our local share of funding to SEPTA, and that is what that $117 million represents. I'm a former teacher, and I get excited when people have already done their homework. So as the governor was making his announcement of $153 million public, I was saying to myself, Lord, it sure feels good that Philadelphia already increased its local share, and it was included in our budget. But we'll continue to be, very strong advocates for SEPTA. And because I'm not new, this is the benefit of my being old. I was a part of, and proud to have been a part of, the lead negotiators of Act 89 of 2013. And some people may say, wow, Act 89 of 2013, it was the historic $2.3 billion transportation funding that came to roads, bridges, and highways across the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and that included funding for SEPTA, where we nearly doubled its funding from the Commonwealth from $300 to $600 million. Those were good days. We did it with a Republican governor, a Republican-controlled House, and a Republican-controlled Senate, and a young lady from Philadelphia working with Vincent Hughes, who was then our state senator and appropriations chairman in the Senate, and Senator Rafferty, so when you hear me talk about regionalism and intergovernmental cooperation and working across the aisle, Republicans and Democrats, that's a perfect example of why that becomes so important. And I'm happy that not a long time, long enough to find my way to the bathroom, that I had spent 10 years having to do just that and deliver for the city of Philadelphia. So I hope the skill set in supporting our governor, we're going to be all right, Pennsylvania. We're going to be all right, Philadelphia and southeastern Pennsylvania, as long as we all stay together and don't allow petty politics to get in between the vision. Safe, clean, green, economic opportunity for all. I won't allow anything to get in the way of that. Thank you all so much. We got a lot of work to do. Thank you. Oh, gotta have a picture. Then we all come up front. From Miss Jones. Candy, Sabrina. Other folks stay. Please, take a picture. Everybody come forward.
I'm tall. I'm tall.